Okay, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over UFC Saudi Fight Night and giving you guys my breakdown and predictions for this card, right? So I'm going to do the main card. If you want to know my thoughts on, some fucking random flyweight fight, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You're going to have to go to another channel, right? I'm going to be breaking down the fights that people kind of care about, right? So let's start off with the first fight on the main card. We got Muhammad Naimov versus Khan Offley, right? So I think Naimov's going to win this fight. I've kind of studied both these fighters. So I think Offley is mainly more of a grappler, right? He's only had one fight in the UFC where he got TKO'd in the second round. And looking at his record on the regional scene, most of his wins are by submission, right? And Muhammad Naimov did get submitted in his last fight by Felipe Lima. But Naimov has good striking. I think he has 55% of his wins, something like that. 57% of his wins come by KO or TKO, right? So I think he's going to possess that striking ability to kind of KO or I think he's going to be able to finish Offley on the feet. And Offley is stepping up on short notice, right? So there's a disadvantage there. And Naimov's also a bit more well-rounded, right? He does have the ability to take to the ground. He's not as good. He doesn't quite have, I guess, credentials, grappling as Offley, but he can, wrestle if he needs to, right? So this one, I'm going Muhammad Naimov. I'm gonna go either decision or TKO in the second or third round. I think that's my prediction for this fight. Second fight, Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. This is gonna be a good one, bro. This is gonna be a really good one. I think it's gonna be a super interesting fight. It's tough to pick, man. It's tough to pick. I think Vinicius Oliveira has really good striking. He has dangerous striking. He got that highlight flying knee TKO. And again, I feel like Nurmagomedov is just more well-rounded, right? He has wins by TKO. He can also grapple. So I don't know, man. I think Oliveira could knock him out. But I think Said just has... I think if Said's struggling on the feet, I think you can always opt to take it to the ground, right? He is a good striker himself. Said's a good striker, but Oliver, I think, is just too dangerous on the feet. So I think Said's going to take him to the ground and probably just wrestle him to a decision. So I'm going to go with a decision by Nurmagomedov. But Oliveira could get it done. I could see a TKO, right? I could see a knockout. So I'm going to go with Nurmagomedov by decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oliveira wins by KO, right? Next up, we got Pavlovich versus Rosenstruck. Okay, this one's interesting. So I'm going Pavlovich. I think it's going to be a KO. I think people have kind of, got off the hype train on Pavlovich. I know he lost his last two fights, due to Aspinall he lost to Aspinall and Volkov, right? I think because of that, people have kind of jumped off the Pavlovich hype train, but Pavlovich's still very good. The reason he lost to Aspinall, he was just there's a speed advantage there, right? I don't think Rosenstruck has that same speed. He doesn't have that same power either, right? He couldn't finish, what's his face? What's his name? Tai Tuivasa, he didn't finish him. He wasn't able to finish Gaziev. Gaziev, finished himself, via gassing out. And he's not super rangy. Like, look at this reach, bro. This is a crazy reach advantage, right? So I don't think, although Rosenstruck is a very good kickboxer, he doesn't have that same range, right? He doesn't have that same long reach to kind of keep Pavlovich on the outside, right? I know Volkov had less reach than Pavlovich, but he still had long legs, right? He was able to keep that distance, right? And kind of piece up Pavlovich on the outside. And Aspinall had the speed and the power advantage, right? Whereas I don't think Rosenstruck has those same attributes, right? He's not long, he's not rangy. He is very good, but he doesn't have that same power and speed advantage, right? So I think Pavlovich should be able to win. I'm going to go KO. I'm going to go second round, right? I do think Pavlovich is going to be a little different. After his two losses in a row, he's going to be a little bit more wary. I think a little bit more patient, but I think he should still be able to KO Rosenstruck, sorry. Right, we saw what Ngannou did to him. He was swinging wildly. I think if Pavlovich should be able to KO him in a similar fashion, right? Not as wild, but I think Pavlovich is gonna win by KO. I'm gonna go second round KO for Pavlovich. Up the card we got Shara Magomedov versus Michael Venom Page. Okay, I'm going MVP, man. I'm going MVP. It's crazy that Shara is a favorite here. It's actually pretty crazy, to be honest. To be honest, Shara, he's not that good, man. We've been looking at his fights. He's struggling, bro. He's struggling. Took Petrosyan into the second round. Um, yeah, I think he's struggling against what's his name, Anthony Tricoli, I think, Dunn's boyfriend or whatever, right? Like he's not destroying these guys, right? That he should be, you know. That he should be, right? If he's as good as we think, right? He should be able to, you know, beat these guys much more easily. But you know, we're getting to the second round. Yeah, he's getting to the second round with these guys, right? And yeah, it was cool. Like I think he's a cool guy. I think he's a cool character, right? But I don't know, man. He hasn't displayed anything that would imply he can be MVP, right? So I think MVP should be able to win this quite comfortably. I think he might even forecheck him. I think he's gonna look pretty dominant, pretty one-sided. I was thinking like Shara could win by robbery, but I don't even think it should be robbable. Like I think MVP should be able to win pretty clear. Like look at this. This is a crazy reach advantage. 15 centimeters. That's almost like a 6-inch reach advantage, I think. And Shara likes to fight on the outside, right? He uses kicks a lot. He's not going to be able to do that against MVP. MVP, first of all, has a crazy reach advantage. And he likes that, you know, kind of karate stance style, right? So it's going to be very hard to hit. Yeah, I don't think Shara's kind of teeps and front kicks are going to be there as much. With MVP's bladed stance, he's not going to be able to hit MVP's in the body as much, right? He's not going to be able to get those body kicks going. So I think MVP should win. I think he's just going to piece him up from range, kind of blitz in, piece up Shara. I think when I see a forward check, honestly. Yeah, I don't even know how Shara's ranked, man. Like, I get that was a cool spinning double back fist KO. But this guy should not be ranked, man. He hasn't beat anyone really good. So I think MVP should get the win. But we'll see. I'm going to go MVP probably by decision. I don't think it'll be a KO, but I think it's going to be a 30-27. It's going to be a dominant performance by MVP. So that's my prediction for that fight. Now, the main event. We got Adesanya versus Imavov. I'm going Adesanya. I think it's going to be a masterclass. I mean, not to be an easy. I think it's going to be a masterclass. I think it's going to be 49-46. Something like that, you know. I don't know if people are picking Imavov. Honestly, Imavov to me, he hasn't shown anything that would demonstrate he can beat Izzy, right? The fight with Cannonier was pretty competitive, you know, until that early stoppage. He had a close fight with Allen. He got out grappled by Allen. And he hasn't really demonstrated. Yeah, he hasn't shown me anything that would imply he can beat Izzy. You know, his grappling isn't crazy. Isn't crazy good. I know he can grapple, but he's not like known for his grappling, you know. And the striking's nice. He actually has a nice style. But I just don't think that's at the level of Adesanya. You know, like the people picking him of I don't get how they're picking him of like yeah, Adesanya had one bad fight against Strickland, right, where he got dominated. He was doing good against DDP. Was pretty competitive, right? And I think if that version of Izzy shows up, he should be able to beat Imavov pretty comfortably. But yeah, I guess that's the question, right? It's like which version of Izzy is going to show up, right? That's kind of what we're always asking ourselves, you know, because Izzy, I like Izzy, you know, but he's had these kind of really good performances mixed in with some stinkers, you know. He had that knockout of Whittaker the first time, and then he has that boring fight with Romero, you know. He destroys Paulo Costa, then he gets dominated by Blachowicz, and, you know, it's a boring fight with Vittori, you know. You know, he knocks out Prada in the second fight, and then he has he gets dominated by Strickland, right? So yeah, Adesanya's performances have been kind of mixed, right? He has these really good, like amazing feats, right? He'll do some really amazing, you know, whether it's knocking out Pereira or Whittaker, or, you know, dominating Costa, but then he has some really poor not poor, I guess you could say lackluster performance, right? And the next one or two fights, right? So it's very weird, right? But I think Izzy should win, right? Yeah. I think even if he's not like, I guess motivation's always a factor, you know. Against Strickland, he kind of wasn't motivated, but DDP was super motivated. Same with the Pereira fights. But I don't know. I don't want to make excuses. Right? I think Adesanya should win. He has all the skills to win. He has all the tools to win. And I think it's gonna be mainly on the feet. I think Imavov might try to take him down. He might get a takedown, but I think his grappling is going to be on the same level as like a DDP. I don't think he's going to submit Izzy. I don't think he's going to be able to hold him down. I think it's going to be a pretty dominant display by Izzy. When I say dominant, I say like 49, 46. There could be some competitive rounds, but I think it'll be clear that Izzy wins the fight, right? So I'm going to go 49, 46. Izzy, right, by decision. And yeah, that's my predictions and breakdown for UFC Saudi. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.